What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I'm just gonna say this, right? So up until recently, man, you know what I'm saying, I just been chilling. I do my videos, my video series. I think about different videos to do. Um, I will come on someone's channel and, maybe in the forum or sometimes on their show, I'll talk about basketball, whatever, right? Stay to myself. I don't sneak diss people. I don't do any of that stuff. Okay. But you know what got me? What's drawing my ire? Channels that don't take risks. And by that I mean they don't talk about social issues. They don't talk about controversial racial issues, which they choose to do that. That's fine. Okay, I've chose to do that, and because of the consequence of that, I've been targeted by YouTube. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but they do things to suppress my channel, unsubscribe people from my page, remove likes from my videos, undercount my views, don't send notifications. They do all of that stuff, okay? That's fine. Okay, I accept it. It's not going to stop me from prospering on YouTube. But this is what gets me. The people who are more established channels, it's bad enough that a lot of times they steal our content or our ideas. But then you got the nerve to sort of sneak this, but don't even acknowledge that you're talking about me or somebody else. Oh, hell no. I'm not going out like that. Okay? So that's why I did the video I did yesterday, I think it was. And shout out to Ticket TV, you know what I'm saying? He went out there and just further destroyed the person that I'm talking about. But then I saw that this person did a response, acting like they're not responding, talking about AI and his shot attempts, right? And that, during a specific time period, he led the NBA in shot attempts. I guess from, I don't know the time period, maybe 90, I think maybe like 99 to 2006 or something like that. I don't know, or 2005. Okay, if you're a perimeter player and you're a high scorer, a high scoring guard, you're going to shoot the ball more than, say, a high scoring center because you're on the perimeter. Okay? That's just how it is. Once again, this person does not mention that AI is 5'11". Now, see, it's one thing if this person mentions that the guy was 6'9". That's one of my knocks on people like Antoine Walker or even Tracy McGrady, because see, they were 6'7", Walker's 6'8", McGrady's 6'7", 6'8", or whatever. Okay, so they were taller, bigger, and shooting in the low 40s. Okay, then I understand the criticism. AI is 5'11", 160 pounds, playing in the league where the average height is 6'7". Okay, that's like us. Okay, that's like us playing volleyball. Average people, average height people. I'm 6'2", a little bit higher than average, but that's like the average height person playing volleyball against somebody that's 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Hey, if I'm going up against a bunch of guys at 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", playing volleyball, we're at a severe disadvantage. If there's a guy that's 5 foot, uh, that's 5'10", and he's dominating in this game, he has certain skills. Okay, he's at a severe disadvantage, but he's at some type of he has some type of skill about himself. Okay, but yes, if you're a perimeter player like AI, you're going to shoot more shot attempts. But look, Michael Jordan, From 1986 to 1993, with the exception of the 88-89 season, right? I think Alex English led the league in shot attempts that year. But every other season, by a substantial margin usually, Michael Jordan led the NBA in field goal attempts. So does that mean that he was an inefficient shot jacker? Or is it because he's a shooting guard, he has to shoot more shot attempts than, say, you know, a high scoring forward like Karl Malone? When Jordan came out of retirement in 95, from 95 to 98, once again he led the NBA in shot attempts. Now, also, I have to note that during this time period, his field goal percentage went down. Now, interestingly, this also coincided with the time period that Allen Iverson entered the league, which is why I said at that time period you saw a decrease in scoring overall, which coincides with the fact that Jordan's scoring average went from 30.4 in 96 to 29.6 in 97 to 28.7 in 98, although his overall share of the scoring load actually went up, in particular in 98 when Scottie Pippen missed a lot of games. And also when Scottie Pippen wasn't there, who was the only other guy really in the starting line that could score. I mean, Tony Kukoc could score, but I mean, he wasn't Scottie Pippen. It's interesting that in those games without Scottie, Michael Jordan struggled a lot, especially early on in the season, right? Because Pippen wasn't there to stretch the floor, right? So defenses were pretty much focusing on Jordan, and as a result, his field goal percentage went down. In fact, the first 20 games of the season, I think Jordan was shooting like 38% from the floor, which is very unusual, okay? Because defenses were focusing on him. He was scoring and being a playmaker, and it was wearing him out. Jordan is 6'6". AI is 5'11" at the time. Get what I'm saying? Of course, he's going to lead the NBA in shot attempts. He's a perimeter, high scoring guard. More than likely, he's going to lead the league in shot attempts. What's more important is to see whether or not his scoring had a positive impact on his team. I'll get to that in a moment. Between 1959 and 1966, Wilt Chamberlain led the NBA in field goal percentage field goal attempts by a mile. Okay, second place during this time period was Elgin Baylor, who jacked up 12,523 shots, I believe it is. Okay, 12,523 shots, or almost 26 shots a game. That's a lot of shots. But during that time period, Wilt Chamberlain hoisted up over 17,000 shots, or over 31 a game. So does that make Wilt Chamberlain an inefficient shot jacker? No, he wasn't. He had usually the highest or one of the highest field goal percentages in the NBA, but he was a center. So going off of field goal attempts by itself is not an indicator of a guy being an inefficient shot jacker. The things you got to look at: the era he played in, who was on his team, and oftentimes, when it came to Allen Iverson, he was forced into shooting bad shots. That's one of the things you have to just give up with AI. He's going to shoot a lower percentage, okay? But more importantly, you look at the fact that before AI got there, after Barkley left that team in 92 until his arrival, they were a horrid team. They were a horrible team, one of the worst teams in the NBA. But during AI's tenure, they became a playoff team and became one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. And for a couple of years, they were arguably the best team in the Eastern Conference for a couple of years. No one calls AI the GOAT. No one calls AI a top 2 all-time shooting guard. Most people will tell you that AI is a top 50 all-time great. That's about right. So someone to sit up there and say he's overrated, what are you looking at? Really what you're saying to me is you don't see what the big fuss is about. And you think that he's not really that good. That's what you're really saying. And if you say that, then you're a fucking idiot.